Is it safe to work with and receive Reiki? I'm going to get into that topic in just a moment. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Natasha Bailey from Soul Mission. So, as part of your journey to being fully on your soul mission, you may need to receive different kinds of spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical healing. Now, Reiki is a spiritual healing modality. So that's what we're going to cover today. I've been getting comments and questions about is it safe to work with Reiki? So I'm going to share with you my perspective on this, and then you can decide if it's right for you. So I'll start off by explaining what is Reiki. So Reiki is a rediscovered spiritual energy healing technique that was rediscovered by a Japanese Buddhist priest called Usui. And in 1922. So it's a 100-year anniversary this year. Yay! What does Reiki mean? So when we look at the Japanese kanji for Rei and Ki, and we break it down, Rei means universal or source, and Ki means life force energy. So universal life force energy, source energy. Yes? So that's what it means. That's what it's described as. Now, I am aware that there are some spiritual gurus out there in the world who are saying that Reiki is bad or that it's negative energy in some way. So I'm here to dispel some myths around that, and also to kind of answer any questions about people who may have had negative effects after receiving Reiki and what that might be about. But first of all, I just wanted to say that Reiki energy, which is actually source energy, and I identify it as part of the Trinity, not in a religious sense, but in a spiritual sense of the Holy Spirit. So it's a neutral energy of Holy Spirit, and it was used throughout time by many ascended masters and prophets like Jesus, Muhammad, etc., etc. And they used it to do healing work on people. But of course, the amount of frequency of source energy that they could transmit was amazing and phenomenal. So with regards to people who have had negative effects after Reiki, so there could be several reasons for this. First reason is you may have gone through a healing crisis. Now, this doesn't usually last longer than 10 days. And by healing crisis, I mean you may feel a bit worse before you start to feel better. So a lot of people think that a spiritual healing is just going to be wonderful and fluffy, but actually we are doing a deep dive delve into you, your energy, and your well-being. And that may mean that you will need to allow for certain feelings, thoughts, and emotions to be brought up, to be relooked at, and to be resolved. So beyond 10 days, though, you should start to feel your energy settling. So what if you feel worse, yeah? Even beyond the 10 days. Unless you've had an initiation into Reiki, then the integration period is a lot longer. It's at least 3 to 4 weeks, but that's a separate issue. The second thing that might be the issue is that the Reiki practitioner who transmitted you Reiki may themselves have not cleared some deeper blocks within themselves. Examples of deeper blocks. First of all, chips and implants, entities, or any other negative energies that can be passed on through during a healing transmission. Just because someone is a Reiki practitioner does not mean that they are aware of or have been taught about some of the deeper blocks that people can have in their spiritual light body energy, or that they indeed have resolved their key emotional or mental blocks. So, but there is good news because there has been a change to Reiki energy. So when Usui first practiced Reiki energy, and his 22 students that he initiated or were initiated below him, they all carried a very high frequency of Reiki energy. It was, I tested this, checked this, it's at least 12th dimensional. But then something happened beyond the second layer of students having been initiated. The energy dropped down to a fourth, fifth dimensional level. But the good news, so why am I saying that? The reason I'm saying that is if any of you have not been receiving the upgrades that have started happening to Reiki since 2014, you may have still be receiving the fourth, fifth dimensional version of Reiki energy. So it wouldn't have been very effective. I've actually experienced both, so I've experienced the difference between the two, and I found that the fourth, fifth dimensional version of it was good at working at certain, at releasing emotions and working a bit on the physical body, but it never really got to the root cause that was lying at the mental body level or some other deeper spiritual blocks. Now, what I've found since the Holy Fire Reiki upgrades, which started in 2014, and I've upgraded to the latest version of Holy Fire Reiki 3, is that it works very much on dissolving the neurological mental thought patterns in addition to the emotions that are keeping those unhealthy thought patterns in place. So this is what's really going to get in your way if you're trying to be on your soul mission purpose, but you're running all these doubts, unhelpful thoughts, you've got limiting beliefs, I can't do this, or that's too hard, or it's going to be too hard, all these kind of negative thought patterns, then you're going to need a healing modality that's going to be working on that level, the more on the deeper root causes. So the great news is Holy Fire Reiki can do that. Now, the other good news about Holy Fire Reiki is, whereas before, when people were being initiated into Reiki, the Reiki master or mistress had to initiate people themselves directly. That is no longer the case. Now people are initiated by Holy Fire Reiki. The master mistress only invites the energy in, the source energy in. They do not intervene. So what that means is there's less likelihood of the Reiki practitioner, the Reiki master or mistress, passing on any of their own negative energy or blocks onto you. So you have a much more direct, much deeper initiation and contact with Holy Fire Reiki. So, and how can you tell then if a Reiki practitioner has got these deep healings or blocks? How can you know if they're safe to work with or not? Well, first of all, if you know how to dowse, you can ask your higher self whether the Reiki practitioner is a safe person to work with. If not, you can ask me, because I do regular checks on myself, and I do some of the other deeper healings and clearings, like releasing chips, implants, seals, entities, and other higher level spiritual blocks that you don't get taught in Reiki. And it's only because I've done further research and training and personal testing over 10 years of many different modalities and working on my own issues that I can identify what may be going on, or I can identify if something is going on with me and work on myself before I even get anywhere near you and your energy. So I hope that answers some of your questions about whether Reiki is safe to work with. And I wish you well on your soul mission journey. I'm sending you so much love. Take care for now. Bye.